Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, witnesses, for your testimony today. I'm looking at an article from Reuters dated October 18th of 2023, where they say 5 countries came together, including United States, Britain, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and made comments following meetings with private companies in Silicon Valley. FBI Director Christopher Wray said, excuse me, the unprecedented joint call was meant to confront the threat China poses to innovation across the world. From quantum technology and robotics to biotechnology and artificial intelligence, China was stealing secrets in various sectors. He goes on to say the incredible amount of theft, I'll just read the exact phrase, what makes this so challenging is all the tools deployed in tandem at a scale of the likes which we have never seen, Christopher Wray said. The officials called for private industry and academia to help in countering those threats, chief among them, which they said were artificial intelligence tools. We worry about AI as an amplifier for all sorts of misconduct, Wray said, accusing China of stealing more personal and corporate data than any other nation by orders of magnitude. Mr. Lord, so assuming that Mr. Wray is correct, I assume he is, how have you focused on China? Or you can share that, I hate to blame you, but how has your organization, following what Mr. Wray said, responded?
Thank you, Congressman, for that question. I'm not familiar with the specific meeting that you referenced, sir. I'll be happy to look into it and have my staff look into it. But what I can say as a general matter is a lot of what you described there often requires export of sensitive technologies from the United States. So Customs and Border Protection works very closely with Commerce's Bureau of Industry and Security, which is tasked with enforcing export of sensitive technology. Through that partnership, we do make interdictions at export when we get the correct information from the Bureau of Industry.
Okay, I'm asking, are you focusing on China? That's my question. And if so, are you prioritizing China? That's my question.
Okay, I apologize, sir. Yeah, so we're responsible at import for managing all threats. And in the context of IPR, well over 90% of counterfeit goods come from China and Hong Kong. They're consistently named on the USTR Special 301 report as a source for counterfeits. We are absolutely concerned about that threat, and it's something we think about every day.
Mr. Ball, same question.
Again, as my colleague said too, not being familiar with the interchange that you mentioned, I can't tell you on that same line to even go a couple steps further. On the export of sensitive technology, that is part of what we do under HSI Global Trade. We have our counter-proliferations investigations. And yes, we are focusing on China, on Russia, on Iran, on what's happening in those theaters. With the export of sensitive technologies, we have a wonderful working group, E2C2. It's our Export Enforcement Coordination Center, and we work hand in hand with DOJ and with Department of Commerce using their strike force for prosecutions on those cases.
Let me shift to Mr. Goldfoot. Mr. Goldfoot, you mentioned some activity in this space. How much more do you think we should be doing than what you mentioned? The suggestion by Mr. Director Wray was that we're not doing enough. Do you agree? And if so, what would you do in addition to what he has suggested?
Thank you for that question. It's a very interesting one. And thank you also for repeating and amplifying Director Wray's comments about this. I think also not only he, but the Office of Deputy ODNI in the annual threat report said specifically that Beijing is seeking to increase its science and technology sector in part through the theft of intellectual property. This is absolutely a concern within the Department of Justice. We're prioritizing that. I think to your question of how much more should be doing, what more should be doing, I hesitate to describe the limit of how much we ought to be doing. I think in this field, as you see the amount of intelligence go by, you see information about the extent of the theft, it's just deeply concerning. As I've said before, if we had more resources, we would do more of these cases. We're interested in doing more of this. And I also, having Mike from this, I want to emphasize that within the Department of Justice, this work is primarily coordinated through my colleagues in the National Security Division, who treat intellectual property theft for the benefit of foreign nation states alongside the other ways that foreign nation states are breaking our laws in order to advance themselves.
Thank you. Yield back.
I thank the gentleman. We now go to the